Good morning, everyone. And welcome to the Universalist Church of the Desert. My name is Walter Gendell, and I am thrilled and honored to be your worship associate this beautiful Sunday morning. I am so glad to see you all, whether you are here in the sanctuary or listening online. But before we begin, please take a moment to silence your cell phones and any other devices you may have before they start ringing and make themselves known. As we begin our service, let us first acknowledge that we gather today on the ancestral and unceded territories of the Aqua Caliente Band of Cahuilla people, who have stewarded this land, this earth, throughout the generations. Let's also begin this service with an acknowledgement of the lands, waters, creatures, plants, and peoples whose being is bound up with our own in mutual dependence. Let us strongly commit to grow in our understanding and relationship with this land and with the people who inhabited it and nurtured it before our arrival. But nurturing our land is only a part of who we are. We also nurture each other and make every effort to welcome everyone wholeheartedly who enters our church. And what that means is that all of you are welcome. Our community has a place for you. Here you matter, and here you are loved. But people will ask, how do you know when you feel welcomed at our church or that you belong? Well, I call it the "we got you covered" test. That is, we believe you can find what you are looking for right here. If you are looking for people who challenge your thinking and bring their perspective into the conversation, we got you covered. Looking for LGBTQ plus folks to hang with, we got you covered. Or you're looking for people who wholeheartedly accept those born in another country, whose race and religion is different than yours, or speak a different language, or are raised in a culture very different than yours, we got you covered. In fact, if you are looking for people who are a bit plant crazy and into habitats and pollination gardens, boy, have we got you covered. Like I said, you know you are welcomed when you can bring your whole self to our church, knowing you will be accepted and appreciated. So come and learn and grow with us. Together, let's figure out individually and as a congregation how we can engage in social change to help create and then fully embrace that rich and beautiful, diverse world we aspire to. And also what role you want to play to meet the moment and to create effective and lasting change. Not everyone will play the same role, but each of us can figure out what role we want to play. So I invite all of you to help us build a community and a world centered in justice, in compassion, and most importantly, in love. We are very grateful for your presence and your engagement. Well, welcome. Welcome. Again, please join us for coffee after our service. So one of the ways we covenant with each other to both welcome everyone into our community and celebrate the worthiness of all people is to participate in a candle lighting ceremony in support of Black, Indigenous, and other people of color, or BIPOC. I would like to invite Roberto to join me as we light our BIPOC candles and say the words on the screens above. Okay. We light these candles in solidarity with Black, Indigenous, and other people of color as we journey together toward spiritual wholeness. May we, as a beloved community, work to dismantle racism and all forms of oppression. May we adopt values of justice, dignity, and equity for all prevail. Thanks, Roberto. So now, let's take a deep breath to calm our minds and our bodies while Reverend Ian rings the Tibetan bowl and we listen to the wonderful Joel Baker play our music for centering to start the service.
It is said that ministers are here to comfort the afflicted and afflict the comfortable. I say we are all afflicted and we are all comfortable. These are the words of my colleague, the Reverend Sharon Wiley. May our time together this morning be a comfort and a confrontation. May we here find peace in times of tumult. May we here invite tumult into lives of peace. May here we find calm in times of restlessness, and may here we allow restlessness to evolve into action. Let this be the place where you consider what you'd never considered before. Let this be the place you imagine for yourself something new and unthinkable. May this hour bring dreams of new ways of being into the world. Come, let us worship together. We're going to begin our service today by singing together, gathered here in the mystery of the hour, as we invite our hearts and our minds and our bodies and our spirits all into this place. We're going to sing it through 3 times, and I invite you to remain seated as we sing, gathered here. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit draw near. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit draw near. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit draw near. Spirit draw near. Spirit draw near.
So one of our most sacred rituals is the lighting of our chalice. For us, it signifies the creation of a sacred space where we gather together in community. But it can also talk to who we are and what we want to be. So as Reverend Ian lights our chalice, let's speak the words on the screens above. We must shine. We must shine now. This is the goal toward which we stretch, step by step, in our own time, at our own pace. As our beauty unfolds and our hearts open, we become gentler and more compassionate, yet brighter, more empowered, and fearless. We have been holding on, holding back, playing small, hiding our light under a bushel. Enough of that. It is time to let go. We are needed now, all of us together. And the reading this morning is from Reclaiming the Prophetic Witness by Paul Razor. Early Universalists understood, as do contemporary religious liberals, that liberation is social, that human fulfillment and liberation are possible only in a context of open and inclusive communities based on respect and justice. They recognize that spiritual liberation and social liberation are inextricably linked. Our contemporary theological comments echo our early Universalist forebears' call for social justice built around a vision of a radically egalitarian society. Their call challenges us to pick up this mantle and carry on their quest, to reaffirm the deep commitment to human liberation that lies at the heart of liberal religion and fuels our prophetic practice. In the end, of course, religious identity involves more than theology. Many factors contribute to our identity as religious liberals, including our music and worship practices, our racial and ethnic makeup, our educational and class profile, our politics, and what we might call our basic culture or even our religious style. But theological clarity is critical. Theological clarity affects more than self-understanding. It also affects the prophetic message that we bring to the world. We know the challenges. We face a world awash in militarism and violence, a debilitating global economic crisis, dehumanizing poverty and suffering on all continents, life-threatening environmental disasters, persistent xenophobia and racism, and many more. Yet we also know there is a better way. As religious liberals, we know that we are united in a single, interdependent world, that human beings have the ability to create good as well as evil, that our diversity is something to celebrate rather than fear, and that we can build just and liberating human communities. This is the message of healing and hope a prophetic social justice practice brings to the world. So as the ushers come around for the offertory and we think about our sacred church and the bounty it provides for all of us, please give as generously as you can so we can continue to care for our many communities and our wonderful church for generations to come.
We carry into this space so much. We carry the pain of our own lives, the pain of our friends and neighbors and kin. We carry the possibility and joy of each other's lives as well. And we carry the going on in the world around us. We carry in our hearts and in our prayers and in our plans for support, we carry the people of the Caribbean faced with a devastating hurricane. A devastating natural disaster compounded by greed and inattention from the rest of the world. So we hold in our hearts all of the people of the Caribbean who have had their lives decimated, and pray that we and our leaders and the world community will reach out and support and help them recover. We hold in our hearts all of those lives shattered by war and domination, greed and xenophobia. We hold them in our hearts as well. We hold joy in our hearts for the sun, for the warmth, for the wind, for the beauty of the world around us, the beauty of our neighbors and our kin. We hold in our hearts lightly the joy of our relationships, the joy of the people in our lives who bring us peace, who bring us challenge, who bring us possibility, who bring us the joy of touch and love and hope and wonder. All of these things we carry in our hearts, in our minds, in our spirits. We carry them in our bodies. So I invite you I'm going to sing a little bit, and I invite you to join me as you feel comfortable. The words are in your order of service, and we're just going to do this a few times through. And after we've finished singing, we're going to pause for a longer time of quiet. Because while we carry these things, we cannot grip them so hard that we freeze. We cannot let them pause us. We cannot let them weigh us down so much that we can't breathe. And so we are invited. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Do that again. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Holy breath and holy name, and holy name. Help me ease, can you ease this pain? Loosen, baby, you don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Loosen, baby, you don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Let go, let go, let go. Let go, let go, let go. May all beings know peace. May all beings know an end to suffering. May all beings know love. Friends, will you join your voices together again as we sing Spirit of Life, Fuente de Amor. Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me. Fuente de amor, ven hacia mí. Y al corazón, cántale tu compasión. Sopla volar, sube en la mar, hasta mollar la justicia de la vida. Arráyame, libérame, fuente de amor, ven a mí, ven a mí. I want to start with a story. This is a story I've told you before, but according to my records, it was more than 2 years ago, so you've probably forgotten it by now. Stories are important to us they're important to us when we're kids, when we read stories to each other, when our parents or our guardians or our teachers read story to us. But I don't know about you, but I've never left stories behind. I love them so much. And it will not surprise you to know this is a story about knitting. It's called Extra Yarn. on a very cold afternoon in a cold little town where everywhere you looked was either the white snow or the black of soot from chimneys, Annabelle found a box filled with yarn of every color. So she went home and she knit herself a sweater, as if it was as easy as that. And when Annabelle was done, she had some extra yarn. So she knit a sweater for her dog Mars, too. But there was still extra yarn. And when Annabelle and Mars went for a walk, Nate, the boy next door, pointed and laughed and said, "You two look ridiculous." "You're just jealous," said Annabelle. "No, I'm not," said Nate. But it turned out that he was. And even after she'd made a sweater for Nate and his dog, and for herself and for Mars, she still had extra yarn. Now at school, Annabelle's classmates couldn't stop talking about her sweater. "Quiet!" shouted Mr. Norman. "Quiet, everybody. Annabelle, that sweater of yours is a terrible distraction. I cannot teach with everyone turning around to look at you." "Well, then I'll knit one for everyone else," said Annabelle, "so they won't have to turn around." "Impossible," said Mr. Norman. "You can't." But it turned out she could. And she did, even for Mr. Norman. And when she was done, Annabelle still had extra yarn. So she knit sweaters for her mom and dad, and for Mr. Pendleton and Mrs. Pendleton, and for Dr. Palmer, and for little Louis. She made sweaters for everyone, except for Mr. Crabtree, who never wore sweaters or even long pants, and who would stand in his shorts with the snow up to his knees. We all have a friend like that. "No sweater for me, thanks," said Mr. Crabtree. So she made Mr. Crabtree a hat. And even then, Annabelle still had extra yarn. So she made sweaters for all the dogs, and all the cats, and all the other animals, too. Soon people thought surely Annabelle's going to run out of yarn, but it turned out she didn't. So Annabelle made sweaters for things that didn't even need sweaters: the barn, the mailbox, the birdhouse, the church steeple. Things began to change in that little town. News spread of this remarkable girl who never ran out of yarn, and people came to visit from around the world to see all the sweaters and to shake Annabelle's hand. Now, one day an archduke, who was very fond of clothes, sailed across the sea and demanded to see Annabelle. "Little girl," said the archduke, "I would like to buy that miraculous box of yarn, and I am willing to offer you $1 million. "No, thank you," said Annabelle, who was knitting a sweater for a pickup truck. The archduke's mustache twitched, as they do. $2 million, he said. Annabelle said, "No, thanks." $10 million, said the archduke. "Take it or leave it." "Leave it," said Annabelle. "I won't sell the yarn." And she didn't. So that night, you can guess what happens. The archduke hired 3 robbers to break into Annabelle's house, and they stole the box, and they took it to the archduke, who set off across the snow and then sailed across the sea back to his castle. Now, the archduke put on his favorite song and sat in his best chair, I'm assuming got out his knitting needles, and took out the box and lifted its lid and looked inside. Empty. The box was completely empty. His mustache again quivered. It shivered. It even trembled. He shouted, "Little girl, I curse you with my family's curse. You will never be happy again." Then he wrote those exact words on a scrap of paper, stuck them in the box, and hurled the box out the window. And the box landed in the sea and floated back the way it had come, back into a little bay near the town where Annabelle was just then playing in the water with a stick. Now, Annabelle read the archduke's note, tucked in next to a full box of yarn. She read the part 3 times where he wrote, "You will never be happy again." But it turned out she was. Extra yarn. We've talked a lot over the past few years about the values that unite and inspire us Unitarian Universalists, especially as we worked through the process as a denomination of reworking the language that we use to describe those values and the commitments they demand of us. Sometimes I think we also forget that we explored the way we describe what we used to call the sources of our tradition as well. Those places from which we took inspiration and challenge and to which we held ourselves, hopefully, accountable. Free and responsible search for me. Yeah. The process of the last few years brought new ways of talking about these inspirations and sources as well. What used to be a list of 6 explicit sources is now a broader, more inclusive statement that calls us to widen our understanding and hold ourselves accountable for the ways we use various traditions. The new language starts like this. Direct experience of transcendent mystery and wonder are primary sources of Unitarian Universalist inspiration. These experiences open our hearts, renew our spirits, and transform our lives. We draw upon and are inspired by sacred, secular, and scientific understandings that help us make meaning and live into our values. These sources ground us and sustain us in ordinary, difficult, and joyous times. And in my heart and understanding and experience of our tradition, whether in this new language or in the past descriptions, I think we also ground our wisdom in all of our experiences. The things that happen to us, the things that we witness, these things inform our understanding of society and relationships and the cosmos. Our scriptures are not just texts written centuries or decades ago. They are also the happenings of our lives, filtered and grappled with through our hearts and our minds and our spirits. I have had the pleasure and the honor over the past few weeks of performing 2 weddings for couples who came to me because they wanted a Unitarian Universalist minister to perform this important ritual in their life. Because we Unitarian Universalists are known for practice and ritual that grows from love and deep spirit and may be better able to reflect the couple's less mainstream theologies and spiritualities and experiences. For both of these weddings, one here in Palm Springs, one up in the high desert in Joshua Tree, the couples had retained also the service of a wedding coordinator. You know that there are people who will coordinate weddings. They're wedding coordinators. Someone who took on the role of making sure that all the ducks were in a row. The caterers were on board. The DJs and sound techs were set up. The chairs and tables and flowers and decorations were all in place. The guests knew where to go. The minister knew where to go. One coordinator found a spare bow tie when one of the grooms forgot his at home. One coordinator added a table for the chalice at the minister's request. The coordinators made sure that things were running smoothly so the couple and the minister could do what they needed to do to have a meaningful, beautiful ceremony. So I want you to hold those wedding coordinators in your mind and memory for a bit. Now, I want to tell you a little bit about a person, a character, in my life and the life of my circle of friends. We call him Hydration Dude. Hydration Dude, who is actually my husband, but anyway. But none of us, least of all me, none of us knew that I had married Hydration Dude until he and I moved to Las Vegas in 2012 and were confronted with living in the heat and dryness of the desert for the first time. Hydration Dude is the one in our circle who reminds everyone who visits and everyone we socialize with to always be drinking plenty of water. Even if you're not thirsty, you need water in the desert, he'll say over and over again. Oh, you're going out? Do you have water with you? Here's a bottle of water. Hydration Dude texts me at least once a day and says, have you had enough water? Unfortunately, sometimes the answer is no, so I'm glad to get the text. He also branches out into being sunscreen man some days. His mission, his stated mission, is to ensure that we're all healthy and hydrated and able to go about our daily lives or our tourist activities without risk. Don't forget, he says over and over again, the desert is always trying to kill you. And then he talks about scorpions and rattlesnakes, and anyway. So he takes on that role in our lives to ensure our health. So I'd like you to hold hydration, dude, in your mind and your memory for a little bit. I am so excited about next week's Pride Parade. Your Social Justice Committee and a team of volunteers have been working nonstop to get us ready for our biggest presence in the parade yet. And it won't just be people from our congregation in the parade. This year, we'll be joined by our friends from Desert Outreach Synagogue and 2 Unitarian Universalist communities, the UU Church of Riverside and the Hemet San Jacinto UU Fellowship. So it's going to be wonderful. So thank you to social justice folks and the volunteers who are making this happen. And you're going to hear more about that a little bit later. I know there are props here, so one of the things, though, that you need to plan for if you're using a vehicle in the Pride Parade is that you have what are called wheel walkers, one for each wheel of every vehicle you're using. Parades like this can be joyful and energetic and sometimes a little chaotic, and these wheel watchers are there for safety. They are there to ensure that no one accidentally walks too close or gets underneath the wheels of a moving vehicle. They take on that role in the parade contingent to ensure the safety of everyone around. So now hold those wheel walkers in your memory and mind for a bit. I'll repeat all of that so you won't need to remember. It's okay. One of the things that we are exploring in our congregation this year is, as Walter said, the various ways that individuals and communities can be active in change and justice work. We all need to be involved, but each of us has varying strengths and interests and skills, and we want to be able to find appropriate roles for everyone or learn how we might develop the skills, new skills, to adopt new roles in our lives and our communities. We're using the book Social Change Now by Deepa Iyer to focus our understanding. Iyer identifies 10 different roles, which I have described for you in past services, trying to focus on a different role each month and this church year, and today we're looking at what Iyer calls frontline responders. According to her, frontline responders address community crises by assembling and organizing resources, networks, and messages. They know who to reach out to build that support. They organize people and tasks effectively. They are reliable, and they respond quickly when needed. Though wheel walkers and wedding coordinators and hydration dude are not responding in crisis or to process situations, they feel to me like good ways to think about the work of frontline responders, acting to ensure safety, acting to ensure health, making sure that resources are in place and people know what they're doing. One thing that is key for someone playing the role of a frontline responder is that they care deeply about consent and the specific needs of the people that they are helping, not assuming what everybody wants or forcing help in places it's not needed or wanted or safe. I love the story that I shared with you about Annabelle and her magic box of yarn. I'm especially today paying attention to the fact that while she was giving everyone and everything in town a sweater, when Mr. Crabtree said no, that that's not what he wanted or needed, she changed what she was doing and provided him what he needed and would use. I think about, too, the way that our social justice team engages in the regular practice of holding information sessions about the multitude of ballot propositions in our state, sharing information like that so that people can make informed decisions about serious issues. In a way, I see us doing that work as being the work of being frontline responders, getting information out, communication out. Recently, our board president, Rod Belshie, and I participated in a meeting of the Inland Congregations United for Change group, which is a new and early gathering of clergy and lay leaders from congregations in the east end of the Coachella Valley, coming together to collectively plan for how we might all respond faithfully to the painful reality of our current situation, how we work together to gather resources and support the work of safety and help. It was an early meeting. Nothing concrete was planned yet, but we heard stories of fear, heard stories of stress, heard stories of needs for housing and food and safety. It was one way that we in our congregation, going to this meeting, are trying to find ways to live into our interconnectedness in our valley home, to learn how we might be frontline responders for our neighbors in peril. I've also started meeting with clergy from various faiths in Palm Springs in that end of the valley to sort of coordinate and support and get ideas together. And a small group of congregants here has been researching and listening and learning what is going on over the whole of the valley to see where we might act in support of our values and in support of our neighbors who are threatened, attacked, or ignored by the current federal administration. This, I think, is the work of frontline responders, as Deepa Iyer describes, addressing community crises by marshaling and organizing resources, networks, and messages. As you've heard today, our social justice team already leads us in work that helps and supports our community, and we are seeking to broaden and deepen that work in the face of the current crisis. Keep your ears and eyes open over the coming weeks and months as we share together ways to be faithfully effective and ways to nurture local relationships. We've done so much work over the past months, the past years, building this as a community of support, a community of love, a community where we can come and feel safe and connected and welcome, and all of those things that Walter talked about at the beginning of the service. And there is more. The reason for these communities is broader and deeper than that, although that is central and important. In 2013, Unitarian Universalist scholar Paul Razor wrote a book called Reclaiming Prophetic Witness, in which he reminded religious liberals and progressives that the work of justice was intimately linked and demanded by our liberal theology. The things we believed demanded this work of us. And critically for him at that time, we could not surrender the public prophetic space to conservative Christian voices. Our liberal Unitarian Universalist theology demanded that we have a voice and demanded of us that we act in the world. As Walter said earlier, we know the challenges we face. A world awash in militarism and violence, a debilitating global economic crisis, dehumanizing poverty and suffering on all continents, life-threatening environmental disasters, persistent xenophobia and racism, and many more. 2013, he wrote this. Yet we also know there is a better way. As religious liberals, we know that we are united in a single interdependent world, that human beings have the ability to create good as well as evil, that our diversity is something to celebrate rather than fear, and that we can build just and liberating human communities. This is the message, he concluded, of healing and hope our prophetic social justice practice brings to the world. We do these things. We engage in our communities for justice because it is the right thing to do. We do these things because our neighbors are in peril and we want to protect them. We do this because the values we profess of justice and interdependence and pluralism and generosity hold us to do this work. We do this because we know we are interwoven into a single garment. May that call be answered by our hearts and our actions. May it be so. Friends, will you rise in body or in spirit and join me and join our voices together as we sing Answering the Call of Love.
And
build a barrier to keep love tightly bound, corrupted by fear, unwilling to hear, denying the beauty we found. We are answering the call of love, hands joined together as hearts beat as one, and golden by faith, dare to proclaim, we are answering the call of love. A bright new day is dawning, when love will not divide, reflections of grace in every embrace, fulfilling the vision divine. We are answering the call of love, hands joined together as hearts beat as one, emboldened by faith, we dare to proclaim, we are answering the call of love. We are answering the call of love. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. That was wonderful. So prior to sharing our congregational news, I would just like to take this opportunity to thank the many people that helped organize and deliver our service this morning, without whom this service would not happen so beautifully. Every one of these folks and their teams are terrific, absolutely terrific. Starting with the AV team, our hospitality team, our greeters, ushers, and those that stay in the lobby during our service to keep us safe, our amazing office manager, Pam, Jack for his graphics and images, our fabulous pianist this week, Joel Baker, the folks who helped set up and take down the tables for our coffee after service, the worship associates, and most of all, you, for being here and continuing to strengthen our community. Thank you. It does take a village. So for the congregational news, initially now there are going to be 3 people I will be calling to the podium individually to make an important announcements. First, I would like to call Denise Jansen-Eager to the podium for a social justice announcement.
Come on up, ladies. If you'd like move around so they can see the banner. This banner will be the walking banner that we will be carrying next Sunday, November 9th. Is that not wonderful? Hold it up, ladies. Hold it up. You can, I think they've seen it. Thank you. It's not too late for you to join us. Today is the last day to sign up to walk. There are no other spots to ride. I'm sorry. Frank and Leslie, if you will be here, you are welcome to join us. Any visitors who are here, you are welcome to join us, but you need to either sign up in the lobby today or go online in last Friday's newsletter to sign up to walk. Tomorrow I'm starting to send out all the information so you don't want to miss out. That's the first announcement. Second announcement, I've got really great news and I've got really sad news. Starting next Friday, the CVUSD Migrant Education Toy Drive and Food Box Drive start. It will run till the end of the month, end of November. Here's where the sad news comes in. Our federal government has not given CVUSD Migrant Education the money to have the Christmas party. We will not be, at this moment, having a Christmas party unless we all stand together and help create one. This is where you come in. If you would like to see the CVUSD Migrant Ed Christmas party happen, see me after the service. I don't know what it'll it'll probably entail some money. It'll entail all of us coming together. They want a Christmas party. They have told me that. But it's on us, on our communities, to help us create that. I hope you will rise and join us. Thank you. Oh, and there's a lot of other stuff happening in this month. Look in the newsletter.
Thanks, Denise. I would now like to call Julia Bell to the podium for an important announcement regarding CPR AED classes that the church will be conducting.
Well, this announcement seems appropriate for first responders, as our sermon was discussing. For 8 years, someone every year has asked that the church purchase an AED, an automated external defibrillator. The last leg of this relay was run by Mel Wilkinson. The board approved it, and an AED has been purchased. That's the good news. The other good news is this Thursday from 1 to 3, and the following Friday, a week later, from 1 to 3, in the community room, we will have a CPR class, introduction to the basics of the AED, a little module on stroke, and a treasure hunt to find the 5 fire extinguishers in the building. Yeah. So this is not the CPR class where you're on your knees sweating over the dummy. This will be seated. You will bring your own paper and pens. We will take the test together after we've learned a lot. And if you want to be, it's free. If you want to be certified, you go home, take the test, pay the $15, and you're certified for 2 years. So I hope everyone comes. The more, the merrier. And if this doesn't work out for everybody, there will be another one. You'll have to let me know if you need it for those who are working, if you need it on a weekend or after hours in the evening. We're going to have fun. Thank you.
And finally, I would like to call Dave Emerson to the podium to share with you some upcoming training for events happening on our sacred grounds.
Okay. So when Sue and I first came to the church, right during coffee hour, Rod Belshey walked up, and he started telling me the story, and all I could think of is he had envisioned this field of dreams. And then once I got that in there, the tagline that follows it is, if you build it, they will come. And so I don't know if you noticed, but we built it, and there's a lot of people coming later this month. We have on Monday, November 17th, a field trip, 20 to 30 people from the Sun City Shadow Hills Desert Gardeners Club. And then later that week, on Saturday, the 22nd, we're going to have lots and lots of people from Desert Horticultural Society, California Native Plants Society, and the Master Gardeners are coming, and they'll have plants for sale. There'll be lots and lots of vendors, and then 400 or 500 people. So it'll be a great, thank you. Thanks to the Sacred Grounds and to Rod setting all this up. It'll be a great week for outreach for the church, I believe. And so we should put our best foot forward and show how welcoming our UU COD community is, as well as showing off the native plant habitats. So we're looking for docents that will basically tell the UU COD Sacred Grounds story, where it came from, how it came about, and why we have it. So we're looking for docents that would come just to get to be familiar with what we're going to ask you to do, is get the background story, know a little bit about maybe where the plants are. You don't have to be a total plant nerd like some of us. So we hope you'll come out for trainings. They're like at the end of coffee, half hour, and So about 11:30 next week, it'll be a late day because we're going to be very proud paraders and in the morning. And then in the afternoon, we're hoping for, well, we have a special relationship with Mother Nature, so we will ask her to make sure it's a cooler afternoon. And then it'll just be walking around and looking over a little packet of information. Help will be needed if you got your calendars out. On Tuesday, November 11th, around 8:30, between 8:30 and 10:30, we had a great turnout, by the way, a week ago for the seed packet party. 12 people came, and we got those envelopes filled with seeds and then put them on the postcards. Denise and Jack have set that up very nicely. So we decided you people really like parties. And so on November 11th, 8:30 to 10:30, we'll have the Sacred Grounds Beautification Party, where we'll, and it doesn't have to be just people coming out and taking out the dreaded schismus, invasive grass, and trimming dead heads and stuff. We want the grounds to look nice, but we also want people to feel comfortable and being part of this, and just if you want to bring refreshments, Cheryl Eaton's going to help out with that, and then sort of cheerlead everybody and be part of it, and give us inspiration to keep going. So if you have any questions or you're interested, just see me later on. Thank you.
Thanks, David. And like I said earlier on, if you're looking for people who love plants, habitats, and pollination gardens, we're covered, David. So now you are stuck with me for the remaining congregational news. To all of you men out there, please come and join us for our Men's Monthly Social, previously called the Men's Breakfast, held the second Saturday of every month. Our next social will be this Saturday, November 8th at 8:30 in the community room. Why the name change? They seem like a small change, but what we really hope is that this becomes more of a time for us guys to socialize, mingle, and get to know each other even better. That just happens to be over breakfast. The second exciting change, which we instituted last month and was a great success, was gathering in the community room, church, instead of a restaurant. This allowed more time together and a better way to interact with each other. We serve a light breakfast, well, maybe not so light, and have coffee, juice, and other cold drinks. And at our gathering in October 11th, 24 of us showed up, the largest group ever. So there's plenty of great conversation and camaraderie. So please join us. If you have any questions, please contact me, Walter Gendell, at wgendell@msn.com. And would you like to participate more directly in our Sunday service? One way is to light the chalice or the Bayapok candles during our service. This is a wonderful way for others to get to know you and for you to be a part of our Sunday service. There's a sign-up sheet in the lobby, so please, if you can, sign up 2 weeks in advance. And talk about being frontline responders. A reminder that next Sunday is Socks on the 2nd, and this is important. It's going to start getting colder out there, and there are people living on the street that need our support and generosity to help provide for the basics. This is particularly true now with so many food banks and agencies that support the homeless are experiencing cutbacks. Your generosity will be very much appreciated. And the last message, as many of you know, next week is Pride Parade, and UUCOD will be marching in the parade. Therefore, we will not be holding our services in the morning as usual, but instead we'll have services in the afternoon at 3 o'clock, so that all of those who wish to march and participate in the parade can do so, and also attend Sunday service in the afternoon. So again, next Sunday, services will be here in the sanctuary at 3 o'clock. And now let's extinguish the chalice. In each breath we take, may we remember that the work of love, justice, and healing is ours to continue, both here and beyond these walls. So now let us extinguish our chalice, and as we do so, let us say these words on the screens above. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Rebecca Solnit wrote, "Take care of yourself and remember that taking care of something or someone else is an important part of taking care of yourself, because you are interwoven with the 10 trillion things in this single garment of destiny that has been stained and torn, but is still being woven and mended and washed. May we go forth into the world today, weaving and mending and washing and crafting a world where justice, peace, kindness, and love prevail. Go in peace, dear ones, to love and serve the world."